All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. TCP SuperSystem is on the screen. This is our second video of the night, as promised. Tonight, we're going to show you a couple of our examples of alerts that we received today, April 7th, 2025. And I will say, given the volatile action this morning, we received over 20 alerts today, which is remarkable. And these weren't just any alerts. These were our uh, level 2 buy alerts, which are dark green diamonds at the time of trigger. These are historically for us the most opportunistic times to scale in into an asset, whether it's crypto or equities, as we look to use this system to generate alpha returns that far exceed, uh, that standard 7% return that the Wall Street pros boast about. We're looking to do things far more than that using our system. Now, I will say this system is not foolproof. It is a three-prong system that we'll go over in just a second. But just because you get an alert doesn't mean it can't go against you. It's not financial advice. We use this system to teach and educate, and hopefully, give access to this for free, at least for now. To allow people to leverage this in their research efforts and look for those opportunities to create wealth, understanding that the things that we interpret and how we leverage it may not be suitable for you, but we are going to help interpret the signals, tell you how we use it, show you how we use it, communicate our trades, etc. But you've got to do your own research and make your own decisions. uh, so the three pieces to this are really the main indicator that you see on the main chart. You're going to see something called the hot sensor with multi-input, and you're going to see that multiple times here the way we use it. And that's because there's different inputs that drive, I guess, the different color zones here. You can see they don't look exactly the same, and there is a reason we do that. And then the top indicator is our mean reversion with zones. And the way you can access these is through TradingView. You can go to indicators and you can search for TCP SuperSystem, and you're really looking for three. So and they all have TCP SuperSystem in the name. It's going to be a hot sensor with it, multi-input, main, and then mean reversion with zones. So those are the three that you want. Again, we just released this for free. Previously, it was um, something that we, I guess, had protected, but we're trying to share this information with anyone who wants it. Now you can go to Patreon. There'll be a link in the description of this video if you want help one-on-one to set this up and or help going forward in how we would interpret the signals and how we would apply that to our strategy. We also offer that. You can sign up to that through our Patreon page, so you can follow us over there. And you can also follow us on X as well as LinkedIn. Uh, so with that, again, going back to today's alerts, we had over 20. The majority of these were crypto projects. But looking at the top here, you do see some of the Bitcoin miners. Those CleanSpark, Bitfarms. There's also BTDR, CIFR. So there were some of those in there as well. So we're not going to obviously go through all these today because that's just way too many. But we do share these in our Patreon page much faster than you would get on YouTube. So for $10, you can get much faster access to these alerts. We share them throughout the day. But for an example, we're going to look at Jupiter down here at the bottom. Let me make sure we get the right one here. So you will see. Now, we'll say this. You'll see that it says dark green diamond buy alert level 2. That is for this one. It is light green now because when it dropped earlier today, it dropped so far that it triggered that dark green diamond. But because it came back pretty much immediately, it's only in the light green now. So, take that for what it's worth. But because these are really based on the close for this bar. So, this were to drop back down, it would likely turn dark green again. tomorrow. But you can see, a couple things you're looking at here. We're in a confirmed downtrend highlighted by this yellow label, plus the cloud is red. So that tells you we're in a confirmed downtrend. Uh, and again, going back to what I said earlier, these dark green diamonds are typically the most opportunistic times. Uh, and you can use that in a short-term basis or longer term. So you can see here, we hit a dark green diamond and it popped a little bit, came back down, hit a dark green diamond, and hopefully what we would consider to be near bottom, we would expect to see this turn back very shortly. The other key thing down here is, these hot sensors. This is your short-term time frame, medium term, and long term. And you can see all three of these are in the red. And what you're looking for here is, these color schemes. It goes white, gray, blue, yellow, orange, red. And it's kind of demonstrated over here. But typically, and those colors are the same whether you're above the midline or below the midline. Red being generally where you would want to scale out on the upside or scale in on the downside. So right now you can see we're on the downside of that midline. All three are red, which is not really that common. And we're starting to print those diamonds. So that's generally an area we would be looking to scale in pretty heavily there because we would expect I guess, a trend reversal at some point here in the near term. The other thing you should notice is on this mean reversion, these dashed lines here, these are extreme levels where typically you wouldn't expect to see, especially all three in this zone. So when you have red, 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 dark green diamonds, all three lines in extreme levels, that tells us in a way that this is oversold. And this is where we would look for opportunity. Um, is today the day? We can't tell you that. Like again, none of this is financial advice to buy or sell. It's just how we use it and how we interpret it. Now, one thing we have noticed in the past is this red line up top, that is your fast line. Orange being the mid, blue being the slowest. So that red one will be more volatile up and down. But as it goes and penetrates up through that green opportunity zone, and these orange and blue ones begin to probably get around the halfway mark back to that green zone as well. We should expect to see I would say we would expect to see some fireworks. Now, does that mean it works every single time? No. But, it's worked very, very, very well for us. That's all I can say. Um, so again, this is Jupiter. It's one of the Solana tokens. Um, So to me, this is looking really pretty right now. Now we would like to see it, even better than this is we would like to see this come down, maybe hit a dark green diamond, and we'd also be looking for an up yellow label like we got here. That is a confirmed uptrend. So, this one did transition briefly and then it just couldn't hold. So it confirmed the downtrend. But if we can get a confirmation in a conversion from a red cloud to a green cloud, that would be fantastic. But we also like to try to get in before that occurs, and this is the way to do that. So that's Jupiter, and that's how we would interpret this. And we have found this to be most effective on the daily time frame, but we also have used it for 4 hours as well. But usually it's the daily. And we can just hand pick a couple of these. It doesn't really matter which one. Let's look at H bar. That's one of the tokenization plays we like. So yeah, so see here, again, this was a dark green diamond on this big wick down right here, which when it got to about 12 cents, it's already back to 15 cents. So, that's almost, good gracious, that's almost 30% you could have nailed right there because this alert tells you it triggered at 12 cent 0.127 and we're at 0.15. So if you could have nailed that alert, you've almost made 30% in a day. Yeah, that tells me 7%. That's no longer the standard for us. I'll just say that. So, we can't really lie about these alerts because it gives you the price at which it triggered. And you can see the time as well, 1:44. So, almost 8 hours ago, about 7.5 hours ago. So, I'm telling you, this is super effective. We're using it to create extraordinary gains, and we hope that everyone else can too at some point. But again, the reason that diamond disappeared is no longer printing here is because it's based on the close again. So it went down. If it would have closed at the bottom, you would see a big dark green diamond here. But because it popped back so fast and it closed higher, then it didn't print. But this is how we're using these alerts. And typically, today was a little, I would say, an exception. We didn't get to share all these just because there were so many, but we do put these in Patreon much sooner in the day, much closer to the time that they actually fire. And again, if you want us to help you establish these, we can also do that for you in TradingView as well, if you're using this system. So again, that was just a brief example, and you can see here's a good example too. On the hot sensor, you can see it's not really the same, right? So short term, kind of white gray, which means it's not really strong on the downside. Now the mid and the long term, we just kind of hit those red levels. So you can see we're probably in an area we would start to be looking for opportunity. And again, those dark green diamonds are where you want to do that. Um, Again, maybe we'll look at one more. Let's see. I wouldn't be surprised if XRP. Oh, here's Link. Let's look at Chainlink since we looked at one of his videos earlier. So this one again, this triggered a buy alert level 2 at 1020, as in the price of 1020, and now we're back at 1185 already. So it didn't print again because it popped back so early or so quick. It is based on that closing price for that candle. And you can see it's trying to push higher right now. Yeah, so 1020 back to 1185 again. That's well over 10% in less than 24 hours. So if you don't find that system effective, I'm not sure what else I can do for you. Um, Most people are happy with 7% a year. That's 10% in less than 24 hours. So actually more than 10%. And then we'll look at, I do want to see if XRP, I'm surprised XRP didn't fire. Let's see. Oh, here it is. It did. So XRP, for that XRP army out there, that XRP family, XRP did trigger a level 2 buy alert at a price of 163, and that was today at 146. 163, and you can see again the same kind of scenario. It was so fast. That's those leveraged liquidations that if you go look at our previous video we just put out there today, we talked exactly about XRP, the liquidations because of the leverage. You really need to look at that video to understand the game. The nice thing about this is it dropped so far, but it retraced back above that 200-day moving average, which is that white line. That's positive. Yep. Can we come back lower? I mean, sure we can. I mean, we are in a confirmed downtrend here with this red cloud. The short-term hot sensor, it's not oversold. Midterm, it just entered oversold, but that thing can trend. So, it gives me a little bit higher confidence that we're getting close to a bottom. But again, that long-term one, it's still actually it's actually above the midline, so that's still very positive. So we'll see here with XRP. Another thing just to note and track is that all three lines are in that extreme zone, which is generally where we want to scale in or start to scale in, because typically this is followed by a trend reversal at some point. Now it can drag out down here, but generally soon we would expect to see some type of reversal. And you'll see that on the chart as well, because you'll start to see two things. A yellow triangle up, that is a potential trend reversal, which we have not got yet. And then the yellow up label is your confirmation. So those two things have not occurred. And obviously we still have a red cloud and now a green cloud. So the green cloud and the yellow label and triangle is what we're looking for to confirm the uptrend change. But again, like I said, to scale in and try to beat it to the reversal, we're going to be looking for those diamonds. And again, we did trigger one today at 163. So I hope you enjoyed that. Again, this is the TCP SuperSystem, is available for free on TradingView. Again, here are the three names that you can search for. TCP SuperSystem in all three, but it's the hot sensor with multi-input, the main, and the mean reversion with zones. And again, Patreon link in the description of the video. You can go there, sign up for the alerts for only $10, and then there's other options that will allow you to get one-on-one time with myself. I did create it, and I will help you set it up, make it look just like this, and or show you how you can customize it to your own liking, which will change the way these things fire. But you can find the method that's most valuable to you and your strategies, and leverage it however you want to. Because you can hide certain symbols, you can change the colors, whatever you want to do, to make it to where you enjoy it. So hope you enjoyed the video. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you.